friends, it is a season of love. A season of God's love for us through all of its ups and downs and middles, from Ash Wednesday to Maundy Thursday to Good Friday and of course to Easter. And it's also the season of reminding us to love one another, to love our friends, our partners, our communities, the world with positive messages, tokens of appreciation, and for some people, grand and romantic displays of one's love for another person. Or maybe because they're in the doghouse with their partner. Either way, we take this time to really try to tell the people that we love them. And during the season of Lent, we journey through mourning and grief, humility, shock, and joy, deepening our understanding of God's love for us and a deepening of our understanding of love entirely. Because in 1 John 4:8, we're reminded that God is love. And not only that, but that whoever does not love cannot know God. Love and God are inseparable. Like God in justice, God in righteousness, God in peace, you cannot know God without doing love. But in this Lenten season, we discover that doing love is not necessarily straightforward. It is not only the heart balloons, the red and pink candies, and the thoughtful cards that we give to one another. It is the mourning, the grief, the humility, sometimes the shock, and of course the joy of this journey that cements deep into our hearts the reality of love. I meet couples who have been married a long time who will often say that their love for one another and their marriages deepened during their greatest struggles. Through learning to mourn and to grieve with one another, learning to be humble to one another, learning to experience shock and pain together, and of course to be joyful with one another, they discovered the kind of doing love that God is. Bell Hooks writes that one way she understands love is love as the will to extend oneself for the purpose of nurturing one's own or another's spiritual growth. Love is as love does. Love is an act of will, namely both in intention and in action. During these next weeks, I invite you to see and receive this Lenten season as God's will to extend God's self for the purposes of nurturing our spirits, to see and receive God's intention and action for us, and recognize its reflections through the intentions and actions of the people around us. Our partners, our children, our pets, our friends. How is God's loving intention and action showing up? Because the more and more clearly we can recognize the kind of doing love that is God, the more and more clearly we can learn to do love in response to our partners, our children, our pets, our friends. And as people who believe in the restoration of the kingdom of heaven and earth, we can learn to do the kind of love that is God to strangers, to those that we don't understand, even to those who might despise us. Because then we come to know God that much more deeply, and we come to know God's love that more deeply. Love one another, friends, and we will see and know God. Blessings.